So it's been 2 weeks since I hit it with a Tenacity Ortho CCO mix, and it's doing a great job. The weeds are pretty much non-existent. A little closer. Here's that problem spot, or one of the many problem spots, and I can't really find any weeds. Still some crabgrass. One of the downsides to Tenacity is the whitening of the crabgrass. It's kind of a love-hate thing with Tenacity. It works good, but it leaves these bleached 80 hair spots. Here's a patch here. And yes, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it looks like crap. I got another spot over here that I'm not sure what it did. It looks like it's just harmful of my good grass. This doesn't look like any problem grass, but I could be wrong. I'm not the best at identifying weedy grasses. One of the things, though, that this combination, I think it had more to do with the Ortho CCO, is it annihilated the wild violet. I mean, totally burned it out. Never used anything that worked as good. I caught just a tiny little few spots here and there, but it literally annihilated it for the pretty much the entire lawn. You can hear some whitening spots doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I do have some crabgrass. I'm gonna try to find some that it really doesn't look like it's working on, and I don't know, maybe it just is. Here's one here. Maybe this came up after I sprayed, and I did a full treatment of the entire lawn 2 weeks ago with Tenacity at its recommended strength. I have a lot of whitened spots, but I also have quite a few that aren't. Unless this isn't crabgrass. Again, I'm not the best at identifying grass. It looks like it to me, but it could be like tall fescue, but it looks like crabgrass to me. Could be wrong. It could be the reason, but look at the stalk on this thing. It's massive. So that's not doing anything to that. And let's take a look at this one. So this is kind of, to me, the same texture and the size, and it is taking care of that one. So let's show you guys another spot. This wild ivy, or wild violet rather. I mean, I had a ton of it, and you can't find. I have to look very hard for it, and it really was taking over my lawn. I know I have a spot over here. Look at this. This was completely a bush of wild ivy, or wild violet. I keep on calling it ivy. And as you can see, it smoked it. This whole patch was filled with it. I was almost going to spray it again, spot spray it, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Right here, this was completely full, and again, it smoked it. One or two leaves in here. I'll have to get it in the next treatment, but worked awesome. And again, I think it was the CCO, the Ortho CCO, because I've used Tenacity before on the same weeds, and it laughed at me. It barely did anything. So what I'm doing on the front today, it did rain a little bit this morning, and my bare spots are coming in. I'm really trying to push the growth, putting a lot of fertilizer down every 2 weeks. Still have some bare spots, which probably will not come through just normal growth. I will probably have to overseed, but it's looking a heck of a lot better. Even my wife commented. It's greening pretty decent, but I'm gonna put another treatment of fertilizer down today. And today I'm gonna use probably a half to 3/4, somewhere in between there, of a starter fertilizer. So just to kind of try to stimulate some better root growth. And I I put it down every 2 weeks, and this will probably be maybe one or two more treatments, and then I'll switch over to some Malorganite for summer. So here's what I got so far. Let's go ahead and get the fert ready. So guys, since the backyard is doing so good, I went with, doesn't everybody like to slap their fertilizer a little bit? Since the backyard's doing so well as far as compared to the Scott's Max, I went with the Forever Green starter fertilizer for the front yard. I'm going to hit this with a couple applications now and then pick it back up in the fall. This is a 10-18-6, 10 being the nitrogen, 18 phosphorus, 6 the potassium. So the phosphorus is supposed to promote root growth, and that's why it's for sod and new seed. And 6 is potassium, whatever that means, but when I googled it, it said it was for overall plant health. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to kind of figure out this after the fact. I'm going to go ahead and throw this fertilizer in here. I'm going to wing it a bit, and we're going to kind of calculate what we put down afterwards. Now, when I was looking at the settings for the spreader, it's about 1/4 to 1/2 over the broadcast setting. I'm not using a Scott's fertilizer. If you look at the bag, usually always have the broadcast Scott's. This is the Speedy Green setting 0.5. Now, like I said, usually the Scott's recommends this about 1/4 to 1/2 above the setting. Now, I'm going lower than the full amount. It says 575, around 6, 6 1/4. I'm going to go around, let's go around 4 1/2 and see where we sit. So I'm going to adjust the setting here to 4 1/2. And I'm going to fill it up. And we'll weigh it afterwards to see what our difference is. All right, let's go ahead. It's the first time I've used starter fertilizer, and it's only got a 10% nitrogen value. I'm using this app from Turf Therapy, and you can go ahead and calculate and put your input. And nitrogen 10, phosphorus 18, and potassium 6. My target is 0.75 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. 1,700 square foot, I'm at 16 something in the front yard. 32 pounds is my bag weight. And if I do a calculate, it tells me it's 12.75 pounds of fertilizer that I should have put down on the front lawn. I only put 2.35 down, so I have another 10 pounds to put. This is probably, well, not probably, it was the wrong tool for the job. I'm going to break out my other real spreader, my Echo spreader, and I'm going to shoot for 10 pounds across the front lawn. And I'm going to weigh it and see where I come in, and hopefully I come close. Let's go ahead and try to see where we came in. In this Echo RB60, I had it set for like 5 1/2. See what we got. "20 pounds, 12 ounces. And I started off with 32 pounds. So that gives us 11.25 pounds for the overall for the front yard. That's pretty close. I know I was shooting for 12.75, but I'm not quite at 1,700 square foot in the front yard. It's like anywhere from 1,600 to 1,700. So this will give me, I'll have to calculate what that is as far as the nitrogen value, but it's right where I kind of want to be. So let's take a little closer look at the fertilizer I threw down. This is the Forever Green starter fertilizer I picked up at Menards for just about $18 with their 11% off sale that they got going on right now. It's a 10,000 square foot bag as far as coverage goes, and it's a 10-18-6. The 10% nitrogen is based on two different kinds, 7.1% ammonia-based and 2.9% urea-based nitrogen. Now there's no reference at all about a polymer slow-release coating, so it tells me that this is probably a fast-acting fertilizer. 18% phosphate and 6% potash or potassium. It does have iron at 1%, which most all-around fertilizers will have some iron for some green up. Looking at the spreader settings, and I always go by the Scott Speedy Green setting because that's pretty much the standard. Every bag has it, and this one calls for a 5.75 setting. The application rate in pounds, the recommended application rate is 3.2 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So I am pushing it. I know I'm pushing it. Again, I'm not worried about it. I want to push this lawn before it gets too hot, and then I'll switch over to a organic fertilizer for the summer. So I don't recommend it, but I'm not worried about it. I did water it in good, and I will do so in the next couple days. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the update.